So you want to understand these roles better. Scrum Master,
Oh,
Project Manager, Technical Project Manager.
yeah, it can be tricky, right?
Yeah, it's tricky because they all work on projects,
Often together.
often together, but they have very different focuses.
They do.
And by the end of this, you'll be able to tell them apart,
Oh,
know who to call for what,
for sure.
and maybe even see which one best fits you.
Yeah. What's fascinating is how intertwined they are, yet separate.
Okay.
Imagine building a house.
Good.
You need the architect for the vision, the general contractor to manage the build, and maybe a coach to keep the construction crew motivated and working smoothly.
Okay, I'm seeing the analogy. So let's break it down, starting with their core purpose.
Yeah.
Why does each role even exist?
The Scrum Master is all about Agile,
Mm-hmm.
not just using the framework,
Oh,
but truly embedding its principles in how the team functions.
right.
They're facilitators, removing obstacles, making sure everyone's on the same page, and constantly improving the process.
So not just doing agile, but being agile.
That's a
That's a subtle difference, right?
huge difference.
Okay.
And then you've got the project manager.
Right.
They're laser focused on project success.
Okay.
Do we hit the deadline, stay within budget, deliver what the stakeholders actually need?
Right.
They're juggling a ton of variables, constantly planning, monitoring, adjusting.
Sounds stressful, but essential.
Oh, for sure.
And where does the technical project manager fit in?
They're the bridge between the technical team and everyone else.
Okay.
Imagine a complex software project.
Hmm.
They ensure the technical decisions align with the business goals, that the infrastructure can actually support what's being built, and that the devs aren't hitting roadblocks no one saw coming.
So they need a deep understanding of the tech itself,
Yes,
not just how to manage people,
right.
but manage the technology too.
Exactly. Now let's dive into what each of them actually does day to day.
Yeah, let's get specific. For the Scrum Master,
Okay?
what are some tasks that scream, this is a Scrum Master thing?
Think about those key Agile ceremonies.
Okay.
They're leading daily stand-ups, making sure everyone's communicating, identifying blockers.
Hmm.
Then there are sprint retrospectives, where the team reflects on what worked, what didn't, and how to improve.
Hmm.
It's a lot of facilitation, coaching, and serving the team's needs.
Not telling people what to do, but helping them figure it out themselves
Right.
in a way that aligns with Agile principles.
Yeah.
Okay, what about our project manager juggling act?
They're deep in Gantt charts, mapping out tasks and dependencies.
Mhm.
They're meeting with stakeholders, keeping them in the loop, managing expectations.
Right.
And of course, there's the ever-present budget.
Oh, of course.
Are we on track? Do we need to adjust scope? Are resources allocated effectively?
So a lot of planning up front, but also constant monitoring and adjustment as the project unfolds.
Absolutely. It's dynamic, reactive, and often high pressure.
And then there's the technical project manager.
Okay.
If I walked past their desk,
Mm-hmm.
what would be some telltale signs of their role?
You might see them knee-deep in technical documentation, reviewing code commits, or troubleshooting system issues.
Mm-hmm.
They're in meetings with developers, hashing out technical solutions, and ensuring feasibility within the existing infrastructure.
Okay.
They might also be working with business analysts, translating technical details into language everyone understands.
So they're not just managing the project, they're practically part of the development team at times.
In a way, yes, they need that technical depth to anticipate problems, assess risks, and guide the project towards a technically sound solution.
This is already painting a much clearer picture.
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on, let's talk tools.
Okay.
What are some of the things each role uses to get their job done?
For a Scrum Master, think about visual tools like Kanban boards, maybe in software like Jira.
Okay.
It's about making work visible, tracking progress transparently.
Mm-hmm.
They'll also be big on collaboration tools, anything that facilitates communication and knowledge sharing within the team.
So physical or digital, it's about keeping everyone on the same page visually. What about the project manager's toolkit?
Their world is all about planning and tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So project management software like Asana or Microsoft Project for creating those detailed Gantt charts, managing resources, and keeping an eye on deadlines. They'll also need budget management tools and platforms for clear stakeholder communication.
A lot of spreadsheets and timelines then.
Definitely. And don't forget about risk registers, issue log, staying on top of potential problems is key.
And what about the technical project manager? What tools help them bridge that tech business gap?
They'll be using code repositories like GitHub, diving into the code base, understanding how things work at a technical level.
Okay.
They might be using monitoring tools, looking for performance bottlenecks or potential issues. And just like the others, communication and collaboration tools are crucial for them to stay in sync with the development team and business stakeholders.
Okay, we've got a good sense of their purpose, their tasks, even their tools. But what about how they interact with their teams? Is there a difference in leadership style between the three?
Absolutely. A Scrum Master embodies servant leadership.
Okay.
They're there to empower the team, remove roadblocks, and foster a self-organizing environment. Think less boss and more supportive guide.
So they lead by enabling others to lead themselves.
Precisely. It's about creating the conditions for a team to thrive.
All right, what about the project manager? They seem like they need to be a bit more directive, right?
You could say that they're responsible for making decisions, assigning tasks, and ensuring everyone's working towards that shared project goal.
Right.
They need to be organized, communicative, and comfortable holding people accountable.
So they're the conductor, making sure the orchestra is in sync.
A great analogy.
Okay.
They set the tempo and make sure everyone's playing their part.
And how does the technical project manager's leadership style come into play?
They often lead by influence. They need to earn the respect of the development team with their technical expertise and build trust with business stakeholders by demonstrating their understanding of the bigger picture.
So they're a leader in both worlds, technical and business.
Exactly. They need to navigate both landscapes effectively, building bridges and ensuring alignment.
This is fascinating. We've covered so much ground already.
We have.
Their purpose, tasks, tools, even leadership styles.
Yeah.
But let's get real.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges each role faces? What keeps them up at night?
Well, for a Scrum Master, one of the biggest challenges is shifting mindsets.
Oh.
Getting people to truly embrace Agile, not just go through the motions,
Right.
can be tough.
Yeah.
You're fighting against old habits, misunderstandings about what Agile is, and sometimes plain resistance to change.
So it's almost like a cultural change they're leading, not just a process change.
Exactly.
Right.
And it requires a lot of patience, persuasion,
Yeah.
and the ability to demonstrate the value of Agile in a tangible way.
What about the project manager?
Sure.
What are some of their classic struggles?
Think scope creep.
Oh, yeah.
The project keeps expanding, adding new features or requirements,
Right.
throwing off timelines and budgets.
All makes sense.
Then there's the constant battle for resources,
Oh, for sure.
making sure you have the right people with the right skills at the right time.
Yeah,
And of course, managing stakeholder expectations,
of course.
keeping everyone happy, informed, and aligned.
Right.
That's a challenge in itself.
So it's a lot of balancing act, negotiation,
It is.
and finding creative solutions on the fly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's not for the faint of heart.
And what about our technical project manager? What keeps them tossing and turning at night?
One word,
Okay.
dependencies.
Dependencies. Okay.
Making sure different parts of the system work together seamlessly, that the database can handle the load, that the APIs are talking to each other correctly.
Right.
These technical dependencies can create huge headaches.
It's like a giant puzzle where all the pieces have to fit perfectly,
Yes.
or the whole thing falls apart.
A perfect analogy.
Okay.
And on top of that,
Mm-hmm.
they're constantly dealing with evolving technology, new tools, new platforms.
Right.
They need to stay ahead of the curve, anticipate challenges, and make sure the project is technically sound, even as the landscape shifts beneath their feet.
It sounds like all three roles have their own unique set of hurdles to overcome.
They do.
But let's move from theory to practice.
Okay.
Can we dive into some real-world scenarios where these roles shine?
Absolutely. Let's imagine a software development team working on a new mobile app.
Okay.
They're using Agile,
Mm-hmm.
but things aren't going smoothly.
Okay.
Communication is breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
Team members are feeling frustrated,
Right.
and they're consistently missing their sprint goals.
Sounds like a perfect opportunity for our Scrum Master to step in.
Exactly. The Scrum Master might notice that during daily stand-ups, people aren't really engaging or identifying blockers effectively.
Okay.
So they decide to introduce a new technique,
Hmm.
maybe a visual Kanban board,
Okay.
to make work more transparent and encourage collaboration.
So they're using their knowledge of Agile practices to address a specific team dynamic problem.
Right.
What about the project manager in this scenario?
The project manager Seeing the missed deadlines and potential impact on the launch date
Yeah.
might step back and analyze the overall project plan.
Okay.
They realize that certain tasks were underestimated and resources are stretched too thin.
So they're taking a more data-driven approach,
Yeah.
looking for patterns and adjustments that can get the project back on track.
Exactly.
Okay.
They might renegotiate the scope with stakeholders, secure additional resources,
Right.
or adjust the timeline to create a more realistic plan.
And what about our technical project manager? Where do they fit in this app development saga?
They might be the one who notices that the developers are struggling with a particularly complex technical integration.
Okay.
Maybe the chosen database isn't scaling as expected, or the API documentation is incomplete, causing delays and frustration.
So they're using their technical expertise to spot potential problems that others might miss.
Exactly.
Uh,
They might then work with the developers to find a more suitable database solution, collaborate with the API provider to get the necessary documentation,
right.
or even propose an alternative technical approach that's more feasible within the given constraints.
This is such a great example of how all three roles contribute to project success in different but equally important ways.
It is.
Yeah.
And it highlights the fact that these roles often work together,
Right.
their expertise complementing each other
Mm-hmm.
to overcome challenges and deliver exceptional results.
It's like a well-oiled machine, each
Yeah.
part working in harmony.
I like that.
But let's zoom out for a moment.
Okay.
The world of tech is constantly changing.
It is.
How are these roles evolving to keep up?
That's a great question. One major trend is the rise of automation and artificial intelligence. Project managers are starting to use AI-powered tools to analyze data, predict risks, and optimize resource allocation.
Okay.
Technical project managers are working with machine learning algorithms to automate testing and deployment processes.
So they're not just managing projects, they're managing technology that's managing aspects of the project. That's fascinating.
It is.
Wow.
And it requires them to develop new skills,
Right.
understand these technologies, and adapt their approaches accordingly.
What about the shift towards remote work and distributed teams? How is that impacting these roles?
It's a huge change.
Yeah.
Scrum Masters are finding new ways to build trust and rapport virtually,
Mm-hmm.
facilitating remote collaboration and ensuring team cohesion even when everyone's miles apart.
Right.
Project managers are mastering the art of online communication, using digital tools to keep everyone connected and informed.
So the core skills are the same,
Uh-uh.
but the methods are adapting to this new world of work.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for technical project managers, it means getting comfortable with managing distributed development teams,
Mm-hmm.
ensuring clear communication across time zones,
Yeah.
and leveraging tools that support remote collaboration.
It sounds like adaptability and a willingness to embrace new technologies are crucial for all three roles.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And another key trend is the growing focus on data.
Data. How does that play into these roles?
Well, Scrum Masters are using data from sprint retrospectives and team feedback to identify patterns and areas for improvement.
Okay.
Project managers are relying on data analytics to track progress, identify bottlenecks, and make data-driven decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And technical project managers are using data to monitor system performance, identify potential issues, and optimize technical solutions.
So it's about using data to inform decisions,
Yeah.
not just relying on gut feeling or experience.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this data-driven approach is becoming increasingly important as projects become more complex and the pace of technology accelerates.
This is all so insightful. I feel like we've gained a whole new level of understanding about these roles.
Good, good.
And it's not just about understanding the roles themselves,
Right.
but also appreciating the mindset and values that underpin them.
That's key.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What are those shared values that connect these seemingly different roles?
At their core, they all value collaboration, communication, and a focus on delivering value.
So it's not just about individual performance, but about working together towards a shared goal.
Exactly.
Okay.
They understand that the success of the project depends on the collective effort of the entire team.
Right.
And they all believe in continuous learning and improvement, constantly seeking ways to do things better, more efficiently, and more effectively.
It sounds like they embody a growth mindset, always striving to learn and adapt.
Precisely.
Okay.
They're not afraid to experiment, try new things, and embrace new technologies. And they're always looking for ways to improve their processes and deliver exceptional results.
This has been incredibly enlightening. I
Good.
feel like we've really gone beyond those surface-level descriptions and uncovered the real essence of these roles.
And, one of the things that struck me while revisiting the source material
Yeah.
was the importance of soft skills for all three roles.
Soft skills, like what?
Think communication, empathy, active listening, conflict resolution.
Okay.
These are all crucial for building strong relationships, navigating complex situations, and leading teams effectively.
Mm.
It's not just about technical prowess or project management methodologies.
Right.
It's about connecting with people and understanding their perspectives.
It's about being human, even in the midst of all this technology and project complexity.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that human element is what makes these roles so rewarding and impactful.
This is such a great point to highlight.
Yeah.
We often focus on the technical skills and the methodologies, but those soft skills are what truly elevate these roles to the next level. They're the glue that holds everything together. It feels like we've really unpacked these roles thoroughly.
We have.
As we wrap up,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you hope our listener takes away from this deep dive?
That understanding these roles is not just about knowing who does what.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the value each brings to a team
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately to creating successful products and services.
So even if someone isn't aiming to be a Scrum Master or project manager,
Right.
this knowledge helps them work better within those environments.
Exactly. And it helps you advocate for your own needs.
Okay.
If you're a developer struggling with unclear requirements, you'll understand the project manager's role in clarifying those, for example.
It's like speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Even across different disciplines.
Precisely.
Wow.
And I think another key takeaway, especially in today's world,
Right.
is that these roles aren't static.
What do you mean?
Think about how much the tech landscape has changed even in the past few years. The responsibilities of these roles are constantly evolving alongside that.
So someone might be a project manager,
Yeah.
but what that entails could be vastly different depending on the company,
Absolutely.
the project,
Yeah,
even the specific time period.
exactly. That's why continuous learning is so vital.
Yeah.
Staying curious about new technologies, methodologies, and even how teams themselves are changing.
So it's not enough to just learn how to be a project manager once and then you're set for life.
Not at all. It's an ongoing journey of development.
That's both exciting and a bit daunting.
It is, but it's also what keeps these roles engaging and challenging.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I have a much clearer understanding of these roles now.
And remember, it's not just about understanding, but application.
Okay.
As you move forward in your own work, think about how these principles, these different perspectives, can help you collaborate more effectively and contribute to the success of your teams.
That's a great point. It's not just theoretical knowledge. It's something you can actually use to make a difference.
Exactly.
So to leave our listener with something to ponder,
Okay.
if you were building a dream team for a project,
Yeah.
knowing what you know now, how would you leverage the strengths of each of these roles?
Would you prioritize a strong Scrum Master to create a highly collaborative, agile environment?
Or would you lean on a seasoned project manager to keep everything on track and deliver on time and budget?
Or maybe you need a technical project manager with deep expertise to navigate complex technical challenges.
The ideal scenario is probably having all three working in sync, each playing their part to achieve something truly remarkable.
Absolutely. And remember, the best teams are built on trust, respect, and a shared understanding of everyone's unique contributions.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap on another deep dive.
It is.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep building amazing things.